I wrote my eulogy and then I had things to add, so be patient with me if I'm looking through my stuff. My name is Jhana Goldenflame, and Tigre is my beloved and my partner. Our love is the sweetest and deepest love I have ever known. To build our home together was to build a nest in each other's hearts. Tigre taught me how to set down the weapons that I had carried into every previous relationship. At the very beginning of our time together, I realized that this relationship was going to be different. We were not combative, dismissive. We didn't throw poison darts at each other. We held each other in true, unconditional love. We didn't judge each other. We were able to hold a gentleness that neither of us had ever experienced before. Never flippant, never cruel. That was perhaps one of the biggest gifts that Tigre has given me. Tigre was strong and courageous. And over our years together, I watched them use that strength to carry the weight that they felt for the world and for themselves. Tigre would ask me how they could ask me to love them and to be there with them if they knew that they might leave this life. And I would say that to love them was so exquisite, such a pleasure and an honor. Like the love would wash over me. I could never stay angry. And that was frustrating sometimes. Very frustrating. But Tigre made me quick to forgive because they were so precious. And I would say to Tigre, let me love you for my own pleasure, even if it's temporary, even if you won't stay in this life as long as I would like. Give me this gift. I think a lot of people who were close to Tigre felt the same way. I know you did. I know you did. Everyone who encountered Tigre experienced an extraordinary brilliance that was their essence. And by brilliance, I mean the spirit light that came shining out in their art, their poetry, their smile, the gleam in their eyes that was ever present, always shining, and their dance. Oh, to see them dance. Everyone who saw Tigre dance watched spirit move through them with a force that was awe-inspiring. We couldn't take our eyes off of Tigre. No one could take their eyes off of Tigre. And in the wake of Tigre choosing to leave this life, we are all left with trying to make sense of their decision. And as someone who walked alongside Tigre nearly every day for the last many years, I'm choosing to trust that brilliant, wild spirit, trusting that intelligence within their soul's journey that was the source of the creativity that we loved, and also knowing that that same force is behind this moment, the energy is moving exactly as it needs to, and this is all one and the same. The truth is that their spirit was too big for the confines and conditions of having a human life. Every person who got to experience Tigre was moved by the magnitude of their presence. They had an extraordinary ability to move with such joy and beauty and tenderness, gentleness, compassion, and like also totally ridiculous and snarky and stupid and playful and like the child's play that we all got to experience in our friendships with Tigre. Also, one of my favorite gifts. They were a mystic and a visionary, and they also often traversed the most challenging aspects of life. They lived with a constant presence of melancholic sadness, a darkness that they held at bay. Like it was a constant work for them to hold it back. They held an unimaginable abyss of pain. That big spirit felt the agony of the world with such intensity, and it's also part of what drove their prolific creativity. They had to just keep creating, to like let it out, to let it move, and it was just so much to hold. We all know the potential of what Tigre could have continued to be and create, but with the amount of pain they were in, it was an unfair ask for them to stay. So please, let's not insist on tragedy. Let's hold Tigre here. Let's not hold Tigre here with our own judgments and attachments. Instead, let's give them permission and let them fly. Let them have the release that they wanted. This isn't about bypassing our pain and longing for Tigre. When the wave of grief crashes over me, I let myself fall apart. And when it passes, I find myself faced with a choice: holding on to my desire and staying collapsed in my grief and sense of loss, or to center Tigre. I have quite a journey ahead of me as I move through this loss. There is a deep well of pain and sorrow that I have barely begun to touch. But I know that how I hold this now will set the tone for the work that I have ahead. So instead, I'm calling myself into a more loving perspective, one that is compassionate, trusting, forgiving, and truly unconditional, even as I personally grapple with the immensity of the pain that Tigre is holding. Compassion, when broken down, the word means to be with suffering, to be with intensity. Can I be with this intensity with love in my heart, with permission, with honoring the incredible life that felt all of that, that held all of that for us? Over the last few days, as the family has gathered in our home, we have held this unconditional love. It has eased our process of grief. It has allowed us to open more to love, to bond, to even more clearly see and receive the magic of the gifts that Tigre has shared and continues to share, to see the true breadth of their spirit. And like our dear friend Nikisha said, it's not that Tigre is gone. It's just that now they are so big we can no longer see their edges. So I want to invite you to lean into this with us. May we be a unified field of love to lift Tigre up. May their spirit receive infinite mercy and release. When Tigre would talk to me about this decision, this potential outcome, Tigre would say that the only reason they hadn't made that choice yet was because they didn't want the pain to ripple through their community. That was the only reason they would give that over and over. They didn't want to create damage or suffering. And so we know that it's hard not to spiral into despair and confusion and anger. And we will all have those moments on a personal level. We all will have that. But we can come back into a greater knowing too, and hold that as well. Because as Tigre makes the journey between realms, which is happening right now, let's support them in the full release that they are seeking. So I invite you to please try with all the strength that you can muster to hold Tigre's passing in this powerfully loving way. Let's love Tigre unconditionally and whisper into the heavens the things that they and we all need to hear. I love you. I trust you. You are enough.
You are enough.
You are enough in this moment.
You are enough
with this decision. Everything just the way it is. You are worthy of this grace. Thank you.